Hello, and welcome back to another mini episode of the Bedroom Club podcast. My name's Adanna. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you again, etc., etc. Before we even get into today's episode, like I said, it's a mini episode, so we'll see how long it ends up taking. It's supposed to be a mini episode, but y'all know how I can get. I love to talk. Before we get into the meat of today's episode, you may have noticed that I have a different mic in my hand and the camera quality is maybe 30,000 times better than every episode before this one. And if you have noticed that, it's because I recently turned 23, which we'll get into in a little bit, but turned 23, and for my birthday, some of my besties got me a brand new camera and a new mic for the podcast. Could not be more ecstatic about it. Not to get too deep, too emotional, but it is genuinely very nice to have friends that believe in you and believe in your craft. I feel like honestly starting this podcast journey, as corny as it sounds, my friends have shown up for me in a crazy way, and I love you guys so much. I feel like honestly I have been blessed to have very supportive, wonderful people around me. I think friendships can be hard to maintain as you get older because I don't know. When you're in school, it's a lot easier to maintain friendships because you see each other every day. You might be doing the same extracurricular activities, and it's super convenient to see your friends in that sort of situation. I feel like as you get older, you have to truly work to maintain friendships, and that kind of reveals to you which friendships you care about truly. I feel like care about sounds harsh, but I don't know. I feel like it reveals to you which friendships like you are going to carry with you long term versus which ones were the ones for a season, I guess. Saying all that to say, I love my friends so much. Just wanted to address that quality change. It's because of my friends, so thank them for it, honestly. I guess a little change also is obviously the location. I typically do record in my desk chair, but today, because we're doing a little mini episode and a more themed episode, I guess all of my episodes thus far have been having themes, but I feel like this episode is very quick. Yeah, we're recording in a different spot. Maybe this will be the new spot because I do feel like it's a little bit more comfy, cozy, I guess. Um, Also, another reason why I'm recording here is because there is so much stuff inside my room on the floors. My desk chair has a bunch of clothes on it. Um, and I need to clean up my room. So instead of cleaning up my room before recording the podcast, I just decided to record elsewhere. Again, also because I don't expect for this to be a long episode. This is a little mini the Bedroom Club podcast special. We can go ahead and get into today's episode topic. And I wanted to do a little turning 23 episode, I guess. I think I talked about this in a previous episode, but I turned 23 on August 17th, so a fresh 23-year-old here. And I feel like 23 is a very scary age, or at least it feels like a scary age. I feel like even though I've been out of my teens for a while, and I think that for a lot of people that's a marker of becoming an adult, is when you turn 18, when you turn 19. I still feel like, when you're 19, 20, 21, I was still in college. At least for me, I don't feel like I fully transitioned to being an adult. I was doing more adult things, taking care of myself. I did live away from home temporarily. I don't know, 21 still feels young, 22 still feels young, but 23 feels I posted this on my Instagram the other day, but 23 is a super serious age, y'all. My friends who are already 23 or have been 23 for some time, they do keep saying that I'm just, tricking myself into thinking that it's more serious. Maybe that's the case, I don't know. All that I do know is that I literally am 23 feels like pushing 30. And it's no. As I see 23 as such a transitional age, I guess, from still feeling like a kid or being a kid a little bit to having to actually truly take some responsibility for your life. I wanted to talk through some things that I'm grateful for and things I'm looking forward to as I, get into 23. We're going to do 23 things that I've learned / that I'm grateful for, and mostly things that I'm grateful for, honestly, with a couple things that I've learned. And 23 things I'm looking forward to in this new age. Let's go ahead and get started. So 23 things I'm grateful for. Really, it's like 18 things I'm grateful for and then 5 things that I've learned. So let's start with the 18 things that I'm grateful for. Number 1 is just general health and safety. I think for me, my family, friends, just the people in my life, I'm really grateful and blessed that I've had a safe year and a healthy year. Granted, do I think I have PCOS? Yes, and that's a whole nother conversation. And have I had some like health things where I'm like, wait, what's going on? Sure. But generally speaking, I feel like my family's been healthy, no scary diagnoses, right? Is the word? No scary diagnoses, no accidents, like nothing too scary has happened. So I'm very grateful for that. Thing number 2 that I'm grateful for is my relationship with God. I do feel like over the past year, I've experienced a lot of ups and downs in my relationship with God. Times where I felt on fire, as they say, and other times where I feel really far. And honestly, if I'm being transparent right now, I feel like I'm in a moment where I don't feel as on fire as I want to be, I guess, or as I have felt in the past. And I think despite the difficulty of that, and that's a whole nother topic, but I think despite the difficulty of like coming to grips with that and knowing that I'm not in a place with the Lord that I'm satisfied with, being able to have access to God at all and to prayer and to church and to worship. I think especially like when I was 22, that's when I started serving on the worship team. I feel like it's a blessing to have something so beautiful and so precious as God and as my relationship with Him. And I'm, like I said, not in the place that I want to be and not in the place where I think He wants me to be in, but there's a relationship and I'm grateful for it. Number 3, kind of bouncing off of that, I feel like finding godly community. And again, this is something else that I'm still like working towards. But it really has been a blessing to like meet people at my church, meet people my age, like get more plugged in and more connected and have, you know, friends my age that relate to me and my faith. Not that those are like the deepest relationships ever, but again, same thing, like there's still groundwork, there's still relationships to grow from, and I'm excited for that. I feel like godly community is something that I always am like, I need more Christian friends, like to help keep me on track, things like that. And I think finally this year I have at least begun, not finished, but begun to lay that groundwork. Thing number 4 is the ability to serve at church, to serve on the worship team, doing something that I love, singing, which I've feel like I've loved since I was a kid, honestly. Getting to do that in a way that glorifies God has been wonderful. We've had a lot of worship opportunities in general. I feel like I serve a lot. We've had a lot of events. We had our youth day. We've had Christmas parties, Friendsgiving parties. We have like special back to school weekends and youth takeovers, things like that. It's just been really nice to have all those opportunities to serve and to worship and to be in a healthy place like church. Well, I don't think that all churches are healthy, but I really do love my church. I feel like it's a good place to be, and I'm grateful to be in that space as often as I am. Okay, I guess I should say this actually before we, get too deep into it. I wouldn't say that this list is particularly in order. I was just brain dumping. That being said, didn't realize how high this number like was on the list, but number 5 is food. Not just food in general, but I feel like international and cultural foods I've tried this year have been really cool. I had Korean barbecue for the first time, which I feel like a lot of people have Korean barbecue, but I had never had it before this year, like honestly a few months ago. So Korean barbecue, I tried Ethiopian food, I had ceviche in Peru, I had Dubai chocolate, original Dubai chocolate, period, not the stuff on TikTok shop. Lots of cool foods happening. Number 6 is work. despite how much I complain, I do think I'm grateful and blessed to have a job, that pays me well and is willing to pay me to work on what I went to school for. Just because I know a lot of times, like, you get out of school and you can't really find a job in your field, and you might have to, do something else before you get to the work in your field sort of thing. I think everybody's journey is different. I don't think I have a perfect job. And if you know me, I can certainly complain about my job, but I do think I'm grateful. Like, it's a marketing job and I'm getting paid for it. I'm getting paid well, and I'm grateful for that. Um, Despite how much I may complain about it. Number 7, traveling. I do feel like this year, I mean, I never travel, so I feel like because I never travel, this year feels like I've traveled a lot. But I went to Peru on my missions trip. I went to New York for a day. I just came back from Ocean City. I've been traveling, so to speak. Again, I know there are some people that travel like a bunch more than me, so I don't think it's a lot. But it is more than I typically have traveled in the past. So, traveling for safe travel as well. Again, making it to and from my home safely every time. Thankful for that. Number 8, Nico Nook strawberry matcha. And that is not a joke. And if you've had the Nico Nook strawberry matcha, you know it's bust. I'm sorry, it's so good. The only thing is, I feel like I always have a hard time mixing it the way I want it to. So then it feels very like strawberry milk on the bottom, matcha on the top. But if you mix it well, so bus. So Nico Nook strawberry matcha. Thank you, Nico Nook. Number 9, concerts. If you know me, I honestly am such a concert girly. I feel like especially from 2021 to 2023, I would say I went to a lot of concerts. I do feel like when I was 22, I hadn't gone to as many. I always try to go to a couple concerts a year, which is extremely expensive, but that's neither here nor there. While I was 22, I saw Remy Wolf and Nati Peluso, I think, were the 2 artists that I saw. Super fun. Went with my best friends, so that was also really amazing, really wonderful. Number 10, spending time alone. I think a lot of times, and I've said this before, I think on the podcast, but I'm a super independent person in the sense that my instinct is typically to spend time alone and to be okay with spending time alone. If I'm alone, I'm not like, oh, how can I involve someone else in what I'm doing? I just like do what I need to do, and I do it by myself typically. But I do think a lot of times it's at home. And I feel like up until I was 22, like I would never go out to eat by myself or like go outside by myself, do work outside by myself, stuff like that. I do think that going to college really helped me with that, because despite how much it looks like people are always with other people, I feel like a lot of times people are alone in college. Like when you go into the library or if you go into the study center or whatever, people are usually alone and they just like have their headphones in. And I think being in college made me more comfortable being alone. Granted, I haven't been out to eat by myself in a really long time, but I'm capable of it. I've done it a couple times, like just gone out to brunch with myself and read my book, or I go outside or do whatever alone. So I think spending time alone is something that I'm grateful for. Like, not that I don't want to be around other people, obviously, but more so that like I'm grateful that I can be alone and be comfortable and not feel like on edge all the time. Number 11, just reading in general, I'm grateful for. I feel like I've definitely read more while I was 22 than in past years, so I'm grateful for that. Um, I don't know, it enhances your brain, gives me something to do other than just being on my phone, which is, I'm actually like, very soon we'll be going on a digital detox because it's so bad. I feel like I always want to have my phone in my hand. Even like I could be watching a TV show and the TV show goes on commercial break and I go to pick up my phone. Like, put that iPhone down. If I'm hanging out with other people, I don't go on my phone. If I'm at church, I'm not on my phone. If I'm at work, I'm not on my phone. But once I get by myself, like I find myself on my phone way too often for my liking. So thankful to reading for helping me be on my phone less. Okay, great. Number 12, Casual hangouts with friends. I feel like a lot of times, and I feel like my friends and I are still learning this honestly, but it feels like, and I think I said this before, but maintaining adult friendships is difficult. But I do think sometimes, at least myself, I make it more difficult than it needs to be because I think that hanging out with your friends has to be like some big thing. Um, but really, it's not. I feel like me and my friends have gotten to spend a lot of time this year just by like going to grab boba one day after work or, going to this place, going to grab frozen yogurt just for a couple hours, just to like check in, say hi, like maintain that bond. It doesn't always have to be like a big, dinner party, crazy sleepover, although I miss sleepover so much, but it doesn't have to be some crazy thing for me to see my friends. I think I'm grateful for that. It's honestly something that I've learned. So we're kind of getting a little bit off theme, but something that I'm grateful for is being able to hang out with friends in like a chill, very nonchalant sort of way. Number 13, kind of bouncing off of 12, but creating deeper friendships. And I think that that is in part because I'm I learned that it doesn't have to be some big thing to hang out with friends. And even just seeing your friends and talking to them for like a couple hours a week or every 2 weeks helps you to maintain that bond and to stay friends, stay like active in each other's lives and create that deeper friendship. So loving that for this year. Number 14, buying an iPad. And I know I just talked about how like I need to do a digital detox and how I'm actually like low-key getting addicted to technology. I will say this, I love my iPad so much. I don't care. I'm a little bit of an iPad baby sometimes. Not always, but I love that doggone iPad. I love my iPad games. Like, yes. So buying myself an iPad, that is something I'm grateful for this year. Number 15, talked about it before, but being gifted this camera and this mic. Could cry about it actually. But I won't. But I want to. But I won't. Um Number 16, I guess this kind of goes into the traveling, so I should have just put it in one. But I went hiking in Great Falls, and that was a really nice experience. Honestly, just because I feel like I rarely go outside. I'd only been hiking one other time. It's been like 5 years since I went hiking. Went to Great Falls, and it was really beautiful. And I like miss the sound of the waterfall and stuff. So that was fun. Okay, boom. Number 17, seeing my best friend perform at a show multiple times. She ate down every single time. It's just so nice to watch your friends like put so much work into their craft. Love watching my bestie, love watching her perform. She is so amazing. Tap into Sligo if you don't already know her. Um, Chef's kiss. Number 18 thing I'm grateful for, and hear me out on this one, getting robbed while I was in Peru. Hear me out, okay? I'm very trusting in public. Again, I think that's something that I developed in college because I feel like in college, like if I was in the library and I needed to use the bathroom, like I wouldn't pack up all my stuff. No one did. Like I wouldn't pack up all my stuff in fear that someone was going to take it. You just kind of like leave your stuff. And I would typically ask someone, like, hey, do you mind watching my stuff? But I feel like I'm very naturally trusting of people. And I feel like getting robbed low-key woke me up because now I'm like, no, let me make sure, like, when I get out of my car, all of my valuables are hidden, like either in the glove compartment or in the middle console or under the seats. Like, let me make sure nothing is, sticking out. So low-key getting robbed woke me up for real, for real, for real. Okay, great. That was 18 things that I'm grateful for this year. I want to talk about 5 things I've learned. Number 1 is that you need to actually put effort into your life in order to see any sort of results. And I think that goes for like friendships, personal health, personal growth, your relationship with God if you have one, or your faith, anything like that. You need to put in the work. It doesn't just happen coincidentally. I think when you're younger, a lot of those things do happen coincidentally. Like you have deep friendships just by happenstance a little bit. Now you actually need to like go out of your way to make get happen. I say this from the perspective of someone who does not put enough effort into those things. Like, you need to. I need to. You know what I mean? And I see that change. Like, when I have months where I'm being super consistent, I do see a change versus months where I'm like, just floating around in life and not having any sort of discipline. Like, there's most certainly a difference there. And it's because sometimes I'm putting in effort and sometimes I'm not. And with no effort, there will be no change. So that's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2, unfortunately, waking up early in the morning is the life hack. It is the key. Hate to say it for all my night owls. Get up at 7 a.m. And I say this like I love to sleep in, but when I wake up early, I feel so much more productive. I feel like I got a head start on the day. We need to wake up early, guys. Like, we need to wake up early. It's okay to rely on other people. I think a lot of times I don't like to rely on others. I just wasn't raised that way, honestly. I feel like I grew up with a single mom and she was very like, no, we will take care of ourselves. And I think a lot of times I don't like to ask friends for help, or I don't know, I just like, I'd rather suffer in silence sometimes. And I think I've learned, but also am learning that, like, it's okay if you need something from someone, if you need their help or their advice, like, just reach out to them. Lesson number 4 is not to take things so personally. This is something I've been learning over the years, not just at 22, but I think it's really easy to assume that other people are always thinking of how they can hurt you in their actions, but a lot of times people just act out of ignorance. And I'm not saying that that's okay. Something I like to say a lot is like, intent does not cancel out impact. It's like, just because someone didn't mean to hurt you doesn't mean that they didn't. So I think it's a balance, but like, when your friend doesn't reach out to you, I think it's really easy to be like, oh my gosh, they hate me and they never want to talk to me again. But honestly, like, chances are that they just got busy, they have their own stuff going on, and it's okay to be hurt, but understanding that, like, not everything is a personal attack, and not everything is like out to get you in life. Like, life is just happening for everybody at the same time. Last lesson I've learned this year: having a clean space is low-key the key. Clean bathroom, clean kitchen, clean room. And I feel like right now, like, my room is so dirty and I hate it, actually. Not dirty, but like messy. My clothes are strewn everywhere. Strewn? I don't know, whatever. My clothes are everywhere and I actually hate it. And like, no, immediately no. When my space is clean, it makes me want to be a lot more productive. It makes me a lot more comfortable. Like, today I cleaned my kitchen. I could live in the kitchen right now. That's how I feel. I think having a clean space creates an environment in which you can work and be productive and just be comfortable, which really is the goal I think that we're all looking for. Awesome. Those were 23 things I'm grateful for / learned over the past year. Now we can quickly run through 23 things I'm looking forward to as I'm turning 23. You get the vision. Number 1, improving my relationship with God. As I said in the first half, there's a lot more work to be done and I'm excited for it. Not burdened by it, but excited. Number 2, more church, more worship. Number 3, losing weight. Sorry, that sounds bad. Let's start with number 3, health and fitness / losing weight, if that's what comes of improved health and fitness. Number 4, trying new recipes, whether it be baking or cooking. I want to try to do those things more often, even if it's just like once a month. Trying a new baking recipe or cooking recipe, I think, would be nice. Number 5, getting a new job. Speaks for itself. Number 6, I'm kidding. Like I said before, I'm grateful for my job, but it's also time for a change. So I'm looking forward to that. Number 6, improving on my hobbies, specifically like this podcast / content creation in general, singing and piano. I feel like those are 3 hobbies that I have that I really want to focus on in this new age. Number 7, reading more. Actually hitting my reading goals. I think I could hit my reading goal for this year, which I think is 20 books. I'm like a little over halfway through that point. So we just gotta read more. But But yeah, looking forward to reading different genres as well, other than like the Emily Henry rom-com, which I love, but it's also time to try new stuff. Number 8, more concerts. I'm seeing Alessia Cara in November and Lord in October, so super excited for those and excited for any other ones that may pop up. Number 9, traveling, whether it be a full trip out of the country or just like a little weekend trip to a state on the East Coast, like whatever it is, I'm excited for the possibility to just go to different places. I feel like I'm very sedentary and very much a homebody, and like I just stay in my like 20-minute radius. It's time to branch out. Number 10, having a fully furnished home. If you know me in real life, you know that me and my family have been living in this house for like going on 2 years, and we don't have much furniture. I don't even want to get into it, but just know that I am looking forward to having a fully furnished home. Number 11, learning how to make my own matcha. I want to get into that this year. I feel like it looks really fun to make, but also I love matcha, and it would probably be way cheaper if I just made it myself instead of constantly buying it somewhere else. So, making matcha at home. I need to like buy all my tools, like the cold whisk and the bowl and the matcha, but being able to make it myself, I think I'm looking forward to that. Number 12, I'm looking forward to losing bad habits. I feel like a really bad habit I have is laziness right now. Like, I just don't feel like getting out of bed. I'm like scrolling on my phone. Like, I'm just not being as productive as I know I can be. And instead of wallowing in that, I'm going to choose to be excited for the day that is no longer the case. So looking forward to that. Losing bad habits, gaining better ones. Number 13, dinner parties. Even though I just talked about how dinner parties are not the key to a friendship, they're still really fun. Like dinner parties, sleepovers, whatever it may be, but just like hosting people. I'm looking forward to that. Number 14, making content outside of just the podcast, even though I'm super excited for the podcast, of course, but maybe just making like long form YouTube videos, TikToks, etc., etc. I'm looking forward to like trying my hand in that. Number 15, money. I'm looking forward to money. I need money really bad. Like I'm actually extremely broke right now, I feel. And that should not be the case. But it's because I haven't been working much, to be honest, and I've been spending like crazy, which is never a good mix. So looking forward to having opportunities to earn my money. Let me not just say money. Although if anybody wants to gift me money or give me a winning lotto ticket, like hand it over. Number 16, being better at my current job. My current job right now is like in marketing and social media, and I want to just be better, be more consistent at posting, be more creative with how I choose to highlight my business on social media. I don't know, having more fun with it, being more consistent with it, being able to build a portfolio at my current job, I guess. Number 17, trying more international foods. As I mentioned in the grateful for section, I'm, tried a bunch of cool stuff last year, and I'm excited to try more things. If you guys have like food recommendations, like cuisines that I should try, let me know. I'm not a picky eater at all, and I have no allergies except for to pistachios. I think that's like a new allergy that's building, but whatever. Number 18, this is kind of crazy. I'm also just saying this just to say it. I don't have any like super concrete plans to do this, but I think I'm getting to the age where you're supposed to start maybe thinking about moving out. So I guess 18 is thinking about moving out. Number 19 is improving my current friendships and making new friends. Again, putting in the work to like have events, but also just like casually get ice cream together and catch up. So I'm looking forward to that in terms of maintaining my current friendships and also putting myself out there to make new friends, especially at church. I feel like I see a lot of potential friendships where I'm like, oh, if I was like a little less shy, like you could be a good friend. I'm excited to put myself out there a little bit more, maybe. Number 20 is continuing to daydream about my cafe. Not going to speak too much on it because I feel like that's something that I like actually do want to pursue is opening up my own cafe. So I'll just keep it to myself. I'll keep it in my little pocket for now. But number 21, discovering new art and artists, whether it be music, books, TV shows, movies, whatever, finding a new like thing to fall in love with when it comes to art. I'm excited for that. I'd say number 22, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing my friends flourish, especially because a lot of my friends are artists, whether it be music or physical art. And I'm really excited to see how they improve and grow, how they continue to perform, like what they do with their lives. And honestly, not just art, because I have friends who are artists, but I also have a lot of friends who are like pursuing higher education, whether they be in med school or looking at law school, things like that. I'm excited to see where my friends go in general over the next year. And, I'm excited to be there for them in the best way that I can, support them, and be a good stand-up kind of friend. And then number 23, the last thing I'm looking forward to, which this is low-key, high-key, kind of a cop-out answer, but I'm gonna give it anyway. I'm looking forward to turning 24 and reflecting on all of these, uh, you know, goals that I've set or things that I'm looking forward to, and seeing like what I actually accomplished versus what, could still be accomplished in the next year. So, yeah, basically, the last thing I'm looking forward to is being able to look back on this episode and reflect and hopefully have some, positive reflections. Okay, y'all. Sorry, got cut off there. It's always something. My computer died, which was like totally my fault and not anything else's fault but my own. I didn't realize my computer was on the verge of death like that. But in any case, we were at the end of the episode anyway, so we'll just do a quick little outro. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, I appreciate it. I appreciate you tapping into this little mini episode. I don't expect for it to be very long. And I will see you guys in the next official episode, hopefully still on Friday this week. Something I forgot to address is that I didn't upload last Friday. And the reason why is because I was in Ocean City, and honestly, I just didn't have time to record and edit before I left. I didn't make enough time to record and edit before I left, which I should have, but because I didn't, that's why there was no episode, and I'm really sorry. I kind of did want to do an episode in Ocean City, but I ended up not doing it because we honestly low-key just didn't have time on the trip. But that's when I was gifted the mic and the camera, so I was like, oh, it'd be so cool to do an episode in like another location, but didn't end up happening, babe. In any case, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next full episode, and I love you so much. I would blow a kiss, but both of my hands are occupied. I guess I could still blow a kiss, but whatever. Thank you guys so much for watching again. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next one. Is that it, guys? I think that's it. Okay. Love you. Bye. Bye.